I said that I wouldn't be surprised if there was a extra episode update today or two. This is not what I was expecting. So, my cousin Patricia, to me, she has become like the matriarch of the family since everyone else before us is no longer here. And it meant a lot to me that I got contacted by her. She's been following my quest, and she wanted to let me know that she fully supports this and she understands why I want to go on this journey. And to have Patricia back me on this is absolutely wonderful. It's the most vindication I can get from my family. But the reason she contacted me, now Patricia's 18 years older than me, so she was 18 when I came into the family. One of the oldest cousins I have, so that's definitely where any memory might be, you would think. So she wanted to contact me because she does have a memory that she thought at first was wrong because of things I've been saying. But because of the recent contact I've had, it made her realize that she remembers exactly what she remembers. So I have been on this journey for 20 years. A little bit in the beginning, a lot right now, but I've been on this journey for 20 years. And during these 20 years, it has never been a question to me that my birth mother was from upstate New York. Because there was no reason for me to doubt what Dad told me. He'd wanted to tell me. He'd gotten into fights with Mom over it, thinking that someday I should know. But then again, 30 years can be a long time on someone's memory to remember little details about a subject that, yes, was a huge impact on your life, but at the same time, for 30 years has never been discussed, never been brought up. What Patricia told me was that she remembers being told that her Uncle John and Aunt Audrey, and let me tell you, she had a special relationship with my dad. She loved her Uncle John, and my dad loved her. They had a very tight uncle and niece relationship. So this meant a lot to Patricia. That her favorite uncle was getting a kid when they thought they couldn't have. She says that she heard that they got me from Florida. She also heard that they got me direct from the hospital, right from birth. Not from an orphanage, not from an agency, directly from the hospital. Literally fresh out of my mom. Now, she didn't know if my parents went to Florida to pick me up, or if I was sent from Florida, or if the birth mother brought me up from Florida. She didn't know any of that, but she thought she was wrong. Hearing me talk about Nyack, New York, she thought I was wrong, but then hearing me mention that I made a connection with a cousin in Florida, that solidified it to her. Now, something that hasn't come up that I haven't, because I haven't had to mention it, was I remember my mom telling me when I was a kid, and I forgot why the subject was brought up, and it came up once or twice after that, but before Mom met Dad. Now, Mom was born in the Bronx. This I know for a fact. She was born in the Bronx. She went to grade school in the Bronx. She went to high school in the Bronx. I don't know where she went to college. I may have known once when I was younger and littler, but I've never had to think about it since then, and it's out of my mind. So I don't know where she went to college, but at some point between what I know of my mom in the Bronx, she moved to Florida. My mom lived in Florida for a couple or several years before she moved back up to New York, and shortly after that met my dad. Fell in love, got engaged, bing, bang, boom. 50 years later, I'm sitting here doing this video. Mom was in Florida. So now I'm trying to figure out the whole Aunt Mitch thing. Because my maternal cousins have been looking into this for me, and they're convinced, as far as they know, Aunt Mitch, we can trace Aunt Mitch, Aunt Helen M. Mitchell, we can trace her back to Lake Mohegan back to 76. Around 76-ish. Now, I don't understand, if my father was telling me the truth, that's what those fights were about. He thought at some point in my life I should know, I needed to know, then I have no reason to doubt his honesty in the story. However, his memory, as I keep pointing out, his memory after 30 years, that one might be in question. But it seems like a very big fact to specifically tell me that my Aunt Mitch knew this woman. So now I'm questioning, how was Aunt Mitch a friend of the family? How did she connect to the family? I grew up my whole life, it was just jolly Aunt Mitch. She wasn't my blood aunt, but she was my aunt, and that's all that mattered. She was a friend of the family. She wasn't related to my mom or dad, but they loved her so much, and my aunts loved her so much. She was family. But I don't know anything about her before that. I don't know where she worked. I don't know what she did for a living. I don't know if she was from Florida before 76. Was she a friend of the family because Mom met her down in Florida? And then later, Mitch moved up to New York and was like, hey, at least I'm living near a friend, and got to meet my mom's sister, my Aunt Barbara, Aunt Barbara Shunk, Aunt Barbara Einters, niece Shunk. You know, this is where the whole connections came between the family and Aunt Mitch. Or was Aunt Mitch a red herring? And if Aunt Mitch was a red herring, then why did Dad do that on purpose if he allegedly wanted me to know? I'm still moving forward believing in what my father said, that he wanted me to know. It answers a lot of questions to the early fights they used to have. So I can only doubt his memory right now. Until I get other information in to change what I know, that's what I'm going with. So therefore, I think there is still a connection with Mitch and my birth mother. Now, did my parents fly my birth mother up to New York? Because my birth certificate specifically says Nyack Hospital, Village of Nyack, Nyack, New York, 1969. A different hospital out of state isn't going to give you a birth certificate if that's not where you were born. It's 1969. I know things are loosey-goosey, but I can't imagine a bribe or anything being done. I can't imagine a Ocean's 11 scenario where my family and dad and everyone all snuck in to change the records. No, none of that is logical. None of that makes sense. So I'm born in Nyack, New York. Patricia fully believes that she heard I was gotten from Florida. My mom used to live in Florida. We don't know where Aunt Mitch came from. I hate to put it that way. It's not like she's Bigfoot or an alien. But we haven't figured that out, so it leaves this big mystery. Florida. At first I thought we were supposed to be looking in Nyack because that was the hospital. Then we were thinking, no, where Aunt Mitch was from. And as far as we know, that's Lake Mohegan and Peekskill. Now Florida. Could I have been looking in the wrong state this entire time to find my siblings? And my birth mom, if she's still alive? What lengths did my parents go to one, get me, and two, to keep things a secret? Well, this is the kind of thing in 1969 families didn't talk about. So things just got stranger. I haven't heard back from my cousin in Florida, my new cousin, yet. So, but I did send her all this information, so maybe that will fill in some more cracks in the family story. I don't know. But this was not at all the update I thought I was going to be bringing. I thought I was going to be like, oh, so my new cousin in Florida told me this and that answers this thing, and that answers the other thing. And no, this was totally out of the blue. But I can't thank Cousin Patricia enough for remembering something and then bringing it to me. That's amazing. So I just have to thank my family, all the work they've done on both sides of the family, trying to come together and get me information to help me on this quest. They're beautiful people. And I'm so glad my birth mother gave me to this family. But now it's time. I gotta find my siblings. So what state are we all from? All right. So maybe there's going to be another one tonight. Maybe this will be a 3-drop day. I don't know. But when I know something, I'm going to pass it on. My friend Elizabeth. I know you've been watching these videos with AJ, your husband. The whole once removed versus second, third cousin kind of thing. It's difficult. I'm still wrapping my head all around it also. But yeah, the easiest way to get your head around it is that your first cousins, your immediate cousins, you and them have the same grandparents. So Elizabeth, any of your cousins that have the same grandparent as you are first cousins. If they have any kids, those kids are still your first cousins because they're coming from the same line that traces back to your grandparents. Their kids become removed. So your cousin's kid would be your first cousin once removed. Now, if you are related to a cousin by your great-grandparents, it's not your grandparents, but you're related by your great-grandparents because their kids had kids, and that's how it's coming down the pyramid that you're related, then it becomes a second cousin. And if you remove the grandparents further, then it becomes third cousin, fourth cousin. It's how far back your grandparents or your great-grandparents or your great-great-grandparents, where's that connection start? So that's how you figure that out. I think. I'm pretty sure. I think me and Kristen got that down. I think that's what we figured out. But Elizabeth, I know you told me that I helped inspire you to do this, and I'm so happy I did. Any help you need, any information you need, I'm glad you joined Search Squad. I hope they have an angel assigned to you, helping you out too. Tammy's been great help to me. I wish I could get more information to her. That would help her out a lot too, but she's been great. And anyone else that's watching this, if this is a journey you think you're ready to take it. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun necessarily, but wow, what a ride. And it's nowhere near over yet. So something else comes up. All right. That was interesting.